Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. As always, likes, comments, and subscriptions are very much appreciated. Very big thank you for all the support on the other channels. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Bitcoin's price and Ethereum struggle after the Fed decision. XRP consolidates. Yep. So I told you all on Monday it was probably not going to be the best week in the entire world crypto price-wise. Technical analysis. Ethereum saw crucial rejection. Can bulls save this support? Probably. It doesn't really take much for us to actually move up once again in price. You would not believe how many articles there were talking about remove the word Ethereum, insert your favorite coin there. Price rejected. Bears have control over the market. Can we control it back? Will we ever move back up in price? It was the same thing over and over for at least 20 or so different coins in the market. It says Fed rate hike, cryptos hammered as central bank pumps interest rates by 0.75%. We are at a very interesting point in this entire inflation debate. Rather, how high can it go? Will it go back lower? How high will interest rates continue to move up? I told you before a couple of other times, don't know if you believed me or not. The entire idea is that they cannot continue to raise interest rates forever. It is simply a literal impossibility. A lot of people were actually hoping, myself included, that they would simply just raise it by one entire percentage point because this is where they're clearly going. We are currently at an interest rate of 3 to 3.25%. It would have made a lot more sense if they had just done a full percentage point. The markets could have collapsed as they already currently are. And collapse is a very strong word. You'll see the prices as well. Very weird movements in all markets right now. And simply got us closer to their actual target of where they believe things should be. So they revealed yesterday exactly what their plans are, at least in a general time frame. We have no exact dates, but as to what they're trying to do. It says the Federal Reserve moved forward with a 75 basis point interest rate hike. The consumer price index for August, showing the level of inflation for them, was 8.3%. The Fed is now predicting, they predict that they can bring down inflation to 2% from 8.3% by the year 2025. Right. The crypto markets went on a bit of a roller coaster after the Fed's announcement. Bitcoin and Ethereum slipped close to 2% before bouncing back. However, the market is crashing again as Bitcoin falls below 19,000 again. We're going to go over that in a couple of seconds as well. Like, the market was just moving up and down, but in very large swings. The Federal Reserve believes that it still has a long way to go on the interest rate hikes. The Fed revealed that they expect to raise interest rates above 4% by the end of this year. Right. So remember the time frame that we had before? It was by the end of this year or by spring. It also expects to bring inflation levels to 5%, 5.4%, by the end of this year, and to 2.8% by 2023. That is to say that, in accordance with the time frame that I gave before, either the very end of this year or spring, we should, by all logical accounts, be at the end of the Fed rate hikes. The current rate hikes that they're performing or doing right now is quite damaging, not only to the U.S. economy, but the rest of the world's economy. For some reason, once again, one person is dictating the entire movement of the rest of the world's markets. He's deciding for at least a good 4 billion people around the world who are in markets how much money they're going to make or are not going to make because of his past faults and promises when it came to inflation and how much money that they chose to print. So everyone else now has to fall under the boot of it. The very weird and odd silver lining in all of this, the current drops and all, has to do with the fact that he said they believe that by the end of this year, there's another meeting, I believe, in November. Do they have the actual... The next meeting will be held on the 2nd of November of this year. They're expected to once again raise interest rates, unsurprising, and they will probably once again do it by 0.75 or a full percentage point. If they do a full percentage point, we will be at 4% to 4.25. I believe that their target is 4.5, and that's supposed to be the cap. That's supposed to be the point where they're like, okay, we can't raise it anymore because a lot of senators and congressmen and people within the United States are like, just do a full percentage point. You are prolonging the agony of every single market as opposed to just doing what you knew you were going to do. But they're stretching it out over the course of the entirety of this year, maybe trying to make time a more effective tool. So they raised the interest rate by 0.75%. We now have indications that on the end of November, there's going to be in November, there's going to be another meeting. Their target for this year, they believe that they can lower inflation by another 3% this year. And by the beginning of next year, we should be at 2.8%. The 2% is, significant in that governments typically aim for a 2 to 3% inflation rate per year. This is what they deem to be healthy. And a full 2% by 2025. I will tell you this right now. This is not a price prediction. This is not anything. I said this before, and so far we've been on the general course. If we find out that by the end of this year or the beginning of next year that they are not only not going to be raising interest rates anymore, they might even have to lower them, or that they've gotten inflation under control, air quotes, in some sort of way, all markets are going to pump. Every single one of them. So this is kind of a be prepared type of time, if you will. So that's one portion of the price news. Prices fell. The Fed did a rate hike. Unsurprising. Also, in very popular news, there seems to be like a bit of a weird tennis back and forth match that's currently going on. Remember the news that we got yesterday or the day before from that guy? His name is Willy Woo, and also a number of other analysts, but Willy Woo is the more popular one, and therefore he made the news that day, where he basically was discussing the movements in Bitcoin's price and how they should not be. We've been going over this for over a year and some change now, as far as why does Bitcoin's price move when it comes to the movements of other markets. We have constantly been told, I've been doing this channel since 2016. I go over the news every single day. We have, been constantly been told that Bitcoin's price can only move based on other factors. So that is either bad stuff happening in the world, Bitcoin's price going to go up. In 2017, 18, and 19, the idea was Bitcoin futures are moving in a certain direction. Bitcoin is also going to go there. And if you were here in 2017, 18, 19, and the beginning of 2020, we were told that the only time that Bitcoin could move was based on the way that the futures market moved. It was the only news that we constantly kept on getting. It was Friday, there's an expiration of Bitcoin futures from the CME or from Bakkt or from some other exchange. And if Bitcoin goes down in the futures, we will have to match that price. You must remember this because it was one of my nearest and dearest frustrations that I had, where we were constantly told that the only way for Bitcoin to move was by that. And this is why the entire narrative of, well, the stock market's moving, so Bitcoin has to move in the exact same way. Same kind of feeling, same kind of vibe. It makes a lot of sense that Bitcoin's price in some way is manipulated. I don't think we can lie to ourselves, because once again, every other market in the world is also manipulated. We know that the housing market is manipulated. The reason why housing prices have been going up for the past 2 or 3 years is literally because an algorithm that was created by BlackRock told a whole bunch of hedge funds and management firms to start buying up as much real estate as possible. The name of the AI is called Aladdin. You can look it up. Just normal Aladdin. No weird spelling of it. Type in Aladdin, BlackRock real estate. You'll find exactly what you want. It's not a tinfoil hat thing. It's just like common knowledge for people who are in the banking and or money industry. So the idea that Bitcoin, for some reason, is not a part of this pool of manipulation is just absolute nonsense to think so. However, one person in particular, which is the other news story that we're going to get to, there's a guy called Peter Brandt, and he says that he doesn't believe that the crypto market keeps dropping because of institutional manipulation, which is basically what it is. I've joked about it before. It's estimated that there are roughly around 200 to 300 million people on the planet who are into Bitcoin some sort of way. The idea that these 200 to 300 million people would collectively be selling off their Bitcoin at the exact same time off of what somebody said on a pedestal is absolutely nonsensical. The movements that we're seeing are very deliberate and they're very strong. They're movements down by 7%, and they're happening because of people who have very big pockets are moving coins down in conjunction with the news that we're getting, which is causing other people to then panic sell when prices are low. We keep seeing the same exact thing over and over that we've been seeing for the past 4 years. Prices end up going up, and we end up getting some kind of news that there was some rich institution who ended up buying on a certain day after they presumably pushed prices down. The indication that Bitcoin could do a 5x or even a 20x from where it currently is in the next year or the next 5 to 10 years is a huge incentive for other institutions and banks and hedge funds and governments who we keep hearing about every single day who are getting into the market to want to manipulate the price of something. It's just logical. I don't understand where this man is even remotely coming from. In a series of tweets, veteran trader Peter Brandt countered arguments that the price of Bitcoin is controlled by the CME or is a result of bank manipulation. The CME being the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. These are the people who have or launched the first Bitcoin futures, or the banks in general. We know that all the banks are in the market. We know that banks actively, you can Google this, we know that banks have actively been caught in manipulating the price of gold and silver and other equities markets for their own profit. They're a bank. It's what they do. They're greedy and terrible, and it's not even why would that even be a question? If Bitcoin's total market cap is under $1 trillion and these people think that they can make trillions themselves from it, do you think that they would have entered this market openly telling us that they were in the market and they're not doing some kind of manipulation behind the scenes? You think they're going, you know what, guys, I feel like decentralization is actually really cool. Let's not mess with Yeah, Greg, I was thinking the same thing earlier. Can we just not mess with Bitcoin? Do you think that these people now have a soul and now they're not trying to mess with markets? Like what planet are you actually living on, dude? The trader made his case by highlighting the data from CoinMarketCap. Okay, wow, sure. Showing that the daily Bitcoin trading volume at the CME is only a small fraction of the total Bitcoin daily trading volume, and as such had little impact on the overall price of the asset. Right. So that's what I was saying in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. However, the news that we kept on getting over and over and over, for those of you not looking at the screen, Bitcoin futures expired last week. Did it affect a $10 billion plunge in crypto markets? We had news like, you must remember, we had news like this every single Friday. I'm sorry for screaming or sounding passionate, but it's more of like, dude, like, live in reality for like half a second. I don't know the guy. I don't mean to talk down to him or about him, but it's more like, you can't be that daft. Like, you have to understand that this, like any other market, is manipulated, especially one that everyone's talking about is going to do a 20x over the next couple of years. What have you? We either kept on hearing that it's Friday, or even more so, it's Thursday. Where's Bitcoin's price going to go? The moment Friday came, we knew exactly what the future said. Did they bet against it, or did they try to raise Bitcoin's price or say that it was going to go higher? And we kept on moving by these slight incremental movements. If the market, if the future showed that we were going to that Bitcoin in this case was overvalued by 4 or 5%, we would drop by 4 or 5%. It made no sense. You see, like all the good news that we keep getting about Bitcoin every single day, and the price keeps dropping. It was as frustrating as that. We've had news over the last couple of days that multi-trillion-dollar companies and banks are definitely into crypto, especially while prices are down, and we've dropped by like 16, 17% over the last couple of days. It was the exact same thing. If futures show that Bitcoin's price was 12,400 and we were at 10,000, can you guess where we moved up to? We matched futures prices. It makes no sense, and I'm fearful for Bitcoin, because in the next 5 years there will be some other narrative as to what Bitcoin is following, and it's going to once again follow those exact prices. This is institutional manipulation. We know that people in futures, the only reason why futures were launched was to manipulate the price of Bitcoin. That was the only reason why you have futures in America. Why do you think you still don't have an ETF? We went over this 3 days ago. This was also quite popular news. A lot of people, I think, are constantly looking for answers in some sort of way. And I think the idea of them being in an asset class that is manipulated kind of bothers them. So they look for a light in some weird tunnel going, oh, I got it. No. This is the actual reason why the market fell. It can't be manipulation. It's not like any institutions are in the space, or any banks or any countries are trying to desperately, gobble up as much Bitcoin as they possibly can. Why do you think we're still moving in accordance with the stock market? Why would that make any sense on the whatever? It's absolute nonsense. So this was quite popular. This was also floating around. A lot of people listen to Peter Brand. Sure, if you want to continue listening to him, that's your prerogative. You can do what you want to do, but it's like live in general reality in some sort of way. It's abundantly clear that our market is manipulated. Every other market is as well, but it's more so don't be that fool and go, oh my gosh, I remember in 2017 and 18, we started getting a lot of news that while prices were collapsing, there were tons of banks and tons of hedge funds who were thinking of getting into the space. And people were screaming at me on this channel because I was telling them, I was like, it's clear that the banks are getting into the space. Like, we had tons of news from the people from Ripple that they were also working with banks. And then we had tons of other banks and the New York Stock Exchange, and the NASDAQ. I showed you the photos from yesterday, the news from yesterday, where they were like, Bitcoin's going to be it. Bitcoin's going to be the future. The future is going to be Bitcoin. And people were like, I don't think that they'd be into Bitcoin. They're centralized institutions and Bitcoin's decentralized. Why would they want to get into it? And I was like, money. Yeah, but they don't like decentralized money. Like, what are we not all living in the same atmosphere? Like, what in the world is going on where people do you not understand that money takes over all? Like, these people don't care. They just want more money. They don't care if it's decentralized, me-centralized, you-centralized. They want to control the entirety of the market so that they can continue making as much money as possible. Also in the news, right about here, stocks fell, of course. Surprise. Yeah, stocks fell, and then we fell immediately after. It was really weird. There was like a surge up in prices, and then a complete collapse almost minutes later. It was very, very odd. Stock futures have also fallen. What? I would never have expected that at all. Yeah, that's just where we currently are. I myself, I'm not unoptimistic. I'm optimistic. I'm not none of this year has really dragged me into a bearish scenario, basically because I've been through other actual bear markets. Like, if we were going through a literal bear market and Bitcoin was being, as they say, pummeled, we'd be at a $7,000 Bitcoin. We'd be at a $650 Ether. We aren't this is a manufactured bear market that's being thrown at us from a whole bunch of other factors. It's not simply that the stock market is going up Interest rates are down. Home buying is going up. Gold and silver are going up. And Bitcoin's and Ethereum's price is going down. That's what a normal bear market is. You look at all other markets and go, wow, look at how much money they're making. And then you look at crypto and go, move. Do something. Go higher. Why are you not moving? You feel the despair in the air. But it's just a general level of despair. Every single market is going down because of what the Fed did and what the Fed is doing and what all the other central banks did as well. So I'm myself fairly confident that we are going to go back up collectively the moment they stop raising interest rates, or we get any news that inflation is only, wink, 3 or 4%. So when the stock market begins to fly back up, we will do the exact same. And I know that because we've been doing it for the last year and a half. And by the time we get to a $30,000, $35,000 Bitcoin and Ethereum is back over $3,000, potentially by March, who knows? I don't have a general time frame for you. The euphoria will re-enter the cryptocurrency market. We'll have tons of people who left who will dive back in and go, I want to make money. And prices will begin to pump once again because that's how it always works. It's always the same story over and over. That's all the price news that we have for right now. I know it was a bit of a doozy. But that's all that there is. There was a lot today. Yeah. Let's move on. Also in the news, the Cardano Vasil upgrade is set to take place in less than 24 hours today, with the Cardano team noting all 3 critical mass indicators needed to trigger the upgrade are now met. A September 21st update on Twitter by the company behind Cardano, Input Output Hong Kong, stated that within the last 48 hours, 13 cryptocurrency exchanges had confirmed their readiness for the hard fork, representing over 87% of Cardano's liquidity. And there's a tweet for it right there. I think Coinbase is the only one that's listed as in progress regarding its integration status, according to the ecosystem readiness page by IOHK. So today's the big day. Everybody's been waiting for this day, and now it's finally the day for this upgrade. Yes, Vasil is going to be happening sometime today. I don't have the exact time. Maybe noon-esque. I can't give you. I'm sure there's a countdown somewhere. There's always a countdown. Wonderful. Apparently this is happening today. There's another upgrade, or the full rollout of all the Vasil features will happen on the 27th of this month. And yeah, not really much more to say. I noticed quite quickly on Twitter, the Cardoners, I don't know what you call people in the Cardano community, were like a little bit like drab in that prices aren't skyrocketing to $1 like they've been predicting for a while. But I mean, I also feel your pain because Ethereum also didn't go up to $10,000 like people were expecting during the merge. So cool. Wonderful. We'll see exactly what happens after the upgrade. I'm sure we will be well informed by all people in attendance as to what happens, what happened, and what is going to be taking place in the future. And then I give it around December. No. It's more January. This is usually the time frame when people from Cardano begin to tease the next upgrade. It's always the same. It's always the exact same thing. They take a while for an upgrade. We get the upgrade. The upgrade's amazing. Everybody loves it. And then they go, wait till you see our next trick. And then that takes that trick about a year and a half to actually end up launching. And then it's the same thing again with the purple, red, white, blue, green test nets and so on and so forth. So cool. Can't wait to see what it does, what they got, and how much money it makes me. And yeah, let's move on. Also in massive news today, French banking giant Societe Generale has introduced new services for its institutional clients as they try to cater to a growing demand for Bitcoin exposure among investors. The new offering will allow asset manager customers of the bank to offer Bitcoin and cryptocurrency funds in a simple and adapted manner within the European regulatory framework. So I think they're also launching Bitcoin funds and also fund services within the bank. Really funny when you Google the name of the bank in Bitcoin, you'll find random articles. But there was stuff around 2015, 16, 17, and I think also 18 where they were kind of like trashing crypto and called Bitcoin horrible. My, how times have changed or turned, or I never expected that bank to get into the space. Wow, that's so crazy and weird. I could have never almost expected it. So this is the 13th, institution in the last couple of weeks who has announced that they're getting into the cryptocurrency space, or that they're into Bitcoin, or that they're going to be offering something. And I hope everyone's paying attention. I know that there are people who are paying attention, but I know there's literally always one person who's not paying attention, or who thinks that what I'm saying is simply fabricated or made up in some sort of way. I know there's one person out there. Don't lie to me. So all the banks are into it. All the institutions and hedge funds and businesses, and you get the entire idea. So there's another banking institution who's going to be offering stuff to their clients, and I assume this is off the back of the people from Fidelity and BlackRock also announcing that they're going to be getting into Bitcoin as well. I don't know how anyone could doubt the space anymore. Like, I mentally cannot come up with an idea as to how someone would even potentially think that this space is not going to make it. And it's crazy because, of course, there are people out there as well. I wonder what happened. Years ago, I had a friend. This was years ago. He was talking to me and someone else as to where he should invest his money. And I was like, well, depends on your risk tolerance level. And I was like, if your risk tolerance level is fairly high, I would get into Ethereum and I would get into Bitcoin. I told him as a friend. He had a couple $1,000s, and I was like, you can even do a 50-50 if you want to do half in stocks and half in crypto and kind of see where they go. This was around the time Bitcoin was like 3,000 or 4,000. Ethereum was under 100. It was many moons ago. And he decided he was asking another friend, the other person, where he should put his money. And the friend was like, gold. Just in gold. Gold's amazing. Society's going to collapse. You got to have gold because at some point you're going to want to go buy a jacuzzi for your girlfriend, and you need to have gold to be able to do it. And he came back to me and he was like, guess what I got? I got some gold. And I was like, why? Because my other friend told me that society is going to collapse and I have to buy gold. This was 2017 or something like that. And I was like, wow, I wonder. And then he told me that the other friend told him that Bitcoin was garbage. Bitcoin was going nowhere. Bitcoin had no future. Bitcoin was never going to be used. Bitcoin was this. You know all the sayings and all the phrases. You've been in the crypto space long enough. So I wonder where he is money-wise now. And I say that not as like a mean way, but it's more of I just assume he bought more gold. I assume he also didn't buy any stocks. And I wonder how that's working out for him, because you all get the hint, right? Bitcoin's going to be around for a very long time. It's basically integrated into everything except for governments who refuse to say it out loud. But even then, we also had governments this year who were signing mandates. Don't forget about the government of Bahrain, who announced that they were going to also be using Bitcoin. And also Iran and a bunch of other countries who they do trade with. Guess what they're trading in? Yeah, they're trading in Bitcoin. And you can only imagine if they're trading in Bitcoin, that means other countries are accepting the Bitcoin that they're trading with. So that's the French banking giant has announced that they're into Bitcoin. I think they already have like a custody service. I think this bank already has a Bitcoin custody service. And now they're getting into Bitcoin funds. I mean, I'm shocked. I would never have expected this to happen. It's not like it keeps happening every single day. News. Yeah. Let's move on. That was basically all the news. Surprise. Yeah, everything basically revolved around prices. Everything was price-esque. There was a sprinkle of some Cardano news and the French banking news. There's also, of course, news once again about Ripple and the SEC. I think the judge allowed for another amiche, like another amicable, like someone says that they have information or they're trying to back Ripple as well. And they were also, I believe, just granted that as well. So that was also in the news. The Indian government has once again lied and announced that they're going to be regulating cryptocurrencies. And I say that quite confidently because since 2017, they've announced 3 times per year that they were finally going to give regulatory clarity to their citizens. and actually help them know if they can or cannot be in crypto. And once again, if you've been here for a number of years, you've seen all that news. So now they're talking about that they're definitely going to make sure that people know how to pay taxes. But once again, that's also been a lie since 2017. And a lot of people have gotten in trouble because the government refuses to tell them how much they have to pay or what they have to do. Tons of cryptocurrency exchanges have also left their borders for other places. And I told you all this before. They're doing it basically because their fiat currency is garbage. Not like fake garbage. I mean, like literal hot garbage. Like it just completely smells like absolutely deplorable because they have terrible economic policies. And they've realized a long time ago, like many other countries have, if they allow or signal that crypto is legal within the country, people are going to flood into that market. We had indications before, even before proper regulatory clarity, it was believed that one out of every 20 or one out of every 10 people, that is to say 5 to 10% of people, were already into crypto and just waiting for some type of regulatory clarity, which is probably never going to come because they're definitely pulling a US kind of thing right now. And also in the news, Changpeng Cao gave a video conference or something happened. He was online looking at people and he was like that the bear market is great for the market, which it kind of is. Anytime that we can have a very strong lull period or prices are moving down, it's an accumulation period. It allows for people to get richer later on when the market is actually going back up. And I assume he said it's healthy because Binance is the only, I believe the only cryptocurrency exchange who was actually hiring people during the drop in the market because they were like, oh, we actually saved money when prices were going up. We knew it wouldn't last forever. So yeah, that was also in the news. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: GBU Wally, Dotha Diddy, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Bubble Mode, How's Life Austin, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on, Empire Queen, Roman Geba, Bitcoin Ben, Arachno, Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay, Mo Barazi, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Gurley, Lauren De Silva, Corded Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Stoyo, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, there we go, Paxis, Nick Mangi Alavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, and Machonisa, On Crypto with Lionel, and Crayola and Michelle URL. Thank you all an incredible amount for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you for all the people who bought a ledger, who left a like, who leave a comment every single day, who have subscribed, who are still here listening to me ramble on about this market. It's getting cold outside. I didn't expect it. I mean, Anyway, at the moment, Bitcoin is at $18,935. Like I said, it's weird price movements. We moved up during the announcement that they were raising interest rates and then slammed back down. But the movements of it, we are exactly where we were yesterday. Isn't that odd? It's just really, there's like almost no movement at all. It's kind of the same exact spot. Ethereum is down by 4.5 percentile points. Binance coin is up by 0.66. XRP is up by 5.4%. I assume on the back of the news of the constant good SEC, CFTC news, and also the court case stuff, logic. At least one coin is moving how it potentially should. Polkadot is up by 1.5. Shiba is up by 3.1. Avalanche is up by 3.2. Uniswap is up by 6. Litecoin is up by 2. Anything else crazy? Algorand is up by 11%. Internet Computer is up by 4. Chiliz is up by 8. EOS is down by 5. I mean, I don't understand how EOS even got back into the top 50. There's been no EOS news. We've heard nothing since around February about the rebranding or the relaunch of EOS. Not a word. Not a single word. I wonder, what's that guy's name? It's not Palmer. I don't know. Whoever the guy was who made EOS, who was like, yeah, we're going to retake over the brand and we're going to rebrand it and we're going to do this and we're going to make sure that the coin has this. Nothing. Haven't heard a peep. I assume all these people just kind of took their money and ran. Like not even being mean or joking. They made billions of dollars from the ICO, so I just assume they're gone. Right. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.